again. It was a lot of fun last time. I hope you guys enjoyed it if you were with me. So I will be reading the comments below, and if anyone has any questions or thoughts, I will answer to the best of my personal ability. I am basically interpreting what I know of the spiritual laws of life via the book by Harold Klemp. So today we are moving right along in this book. Second read through, new edition. So today it's called Connecting Diamonds. So I'm going to read about that and comment and interpret from my own experience what that actually means. Let's fix this lighting a little. It's a little different when you go live. Okay, here we go. Events are like diamonds. Invisible lines connect them, a part of a divine plan. Okay, so if you can look at the connecting diamonds in your life, where you were before to where you are now, do you see any patterns? The God lover learns to see and follow these lines, for they smooth his way. They lead over holy ground. It is there that the Holy Spirit does the wonders that help an individual do what he cannot do alone. So, of course, you have to be open to divine guidance while you traverse your personal path. There is a spiritual principle called connecting diamonds that is at work every day of our lives, whether we're aware of it or not. Let's look at an example. Okay, so here's an example. An old friend of an Eckankar came to town for a visit. The two decided to find a pool table parlor and enjoy an afternoon of billiards. They looked in the phone directory, little dated, or they looked on their phone, and found the location of a few places, then set out for one. Although they had agreed to try the first place on their list, the driver was actually en route to the second location, okay, before either noticed the error. So that driver actually was going to the wrong pool place, okay? So they turned around. To save time, and with the map in hand, they took a shortcut along their unfamiliar streets. Soon they reached their destination, but of course, the tables were full. The billiard tables were full, which meant either they had to wait for a table or else try to find another parlor with an open table. So they left. They climbed back into the car, checked the map, and then they set out for the second choice on their list, a location many miles distant on the other side of town. By an odd coincidence, the second place happened to be on the very same street. However, this fact was not apparent to them as they drove because their route ran along city streets onto a freeway, then back onto city streets again. But the second billiard parlor, which the driver had instinctively set out for at the start, was on the same street as the first, although many miles away. Okay, so isn't that interesting that the Ek or divine spirit was trying to help them avoid the trouble that they might have had, that having been, not getting a pool table. Not that it's a huge trouble, but sometimes the universe intervenes even in little things like that to help your, journey be easier. But you have to be open to listening to it and taking the directions. Otherwise, you completely miss. All right. That is an example of connecting diamonds. It works like this. We perceive of some idea that we feel will enrich our life at that very moment. We make a plan. Then we set out from home to accomplish the first leg of our search, but find the Ek is actually trying to get us to go directly to the second place. We resist the guidance of spirit. See, that's the problem, you guys. So if we resist the messages we get, they will persist, okay? Or they will just, eventually fade away, and then you're going to have to figure it out again and start from scratch, okay? And do the harder way. So when you have a little whispering or, something changes in your plans, maybe, just maybe, it was supposed to go that way, okay? We check our original plan's roadmap, what we decided was the right plan, again, and try to find a shortcut to the place we think we should be at. When we arrive, nothing works out. It's so true. Like, you might have a vision for something that you think is like the right way and what you should be doing next, or who you should be communing with in either a business deal or in romance or friendship or what have you. But it just keeps getting foiled for some reason. And instead of trying to make it right, the best thing to do is to let that relationship go and then let the universe guide you, to the right relationships or business ventureships or creative partnerships or romantic relationship. Okay. The trip is not a loss, however, unless we become discouraged and head straight home. But giving up is too easy. If instead we decide to pursue our original plan, we will bring out the map again and try to find a new route to our destination. In doing so, we often find that a line connects all the main points in our quest. Individuals who know and follow this principle of connecting diamonds are usually happy and successful in life. Why? Because they're not attached to outcome. They're not attached, hyper attached to the original plan. If you get so attached, attachment is not your friend, okay? If you get so attached that you have to keep trying to make something work that's broken, okay, then you're going to be frustrated and it's not going to work out anyway. If it can't be fixed, you might as well just let go and let the universe show you the next best route, okay? So let's see if this is still working. Yes, it looks like it is. I think someone's here. Hello. Every event in our life is part of a divine plan that accounts for each so-called mistake or happening of chance. Every event. Now that can be really disturbing, okay? Like I can think back on events in my life where I'm like, gosh, really? A divine plan? I really wish that hadn't happened. But most people don't know that life connects. They don't realize that the events in their lives are diamonds and that invisible lines run between them in every possible direction and combination of points. To be happy, we must take the initiative to connect those points that bring love and goodness to us. How do you start? How do you start connecting those dots and points and diamonds in your life? I like diamond art, but no, that's a joke. Okay, you guys, by the way, that is really fun. You can get them on Amazon. Anyway, you cannot ever put too much emphasis upon having a spiritual frame of mind. You can never put too much emphasis. It's not too much. I mean, if you think about it, and I've said this a million times, and so have other spiritual teachers, that, eternity is what we come from and what we have. So this life in your physical form, this clay vessel, is temporary. So, really, if you're pouring all your energy into the physical stuff, okay, great. You might accumulate wealth. You might have a rocking hot body. I'm not disparaging that, but what you really are going to take with you is not the money or the physique, the attractive physique. What you're taking with you is all of the spiritual work you put out, okay? All the love, all the good things you've chosen over the not so good choices. That's the only thing that goes with you, really. So we begin every day with the spiritual exercises of Ek. That is a wonderful way to stay on track. Sing Hugh, very ancient word for love or God, a love song to God, or your personal word if you have a personal spiritual word. The spiritual exercises will give you the strongest connection of all, a bond with the Ek, the Holy Spirit, divine spirit, if you don't like the word Holy Spirit, okay? It gives you a connection with spirit, with all that is, with source love, okay? Second, sit back and dream the sort of life that you would like to have. What do you want to create in your life right now? What do you want for this life, this incarnation? This blip in eternity? What's important to you? Think on it, contemplate on it. What would you like to do? What would you like to be? Think backwards from your goal. I keep hearing that everywhere. It's so true. Think backward from the goal of your desire. That will be your plan for achievement. So pretend you've achieved whatever it is that you really want to have happen. You've already achieved it. What did you do to get there? And then write it down and follow the steps backwards from what you wrote and do it. Third, begin. There you go. Do it. Just do it. That's looking at your plan for spiritual happiness and success from end to beginning. I'm telling you, you guys, I've implemented this recently in one area of my life and it truly works. It's about seeing the end result, pretending that you've already achieved whatever it is you're excited about. It could be a physical thing. There's nothing wrong with physical things in the universe, you know. We need money to live here and we want to have healthy bodies, right? So I'm not disparaging that when I said earlier to focus more on, focusing on spirituality is what you take with you. However, hi, I just saw a hi. So anyway, you just focus on the end and go backwards, and it really will help. Now let's look at it more logically. There will be 3 stages or connecting diamonds to this plan. 3 stages or connecting diamonds. First, you must do something or make a beginning. You want to achieve something, you have to not only see it in your head, not only know what it is that you want to achieve, but you have to do something. You have to do something, make a beginning. But where? In what direction? Until you know the third or final point of the connecting diamonds, your goal, you cannot begin to work toward that end. So see a picture of your goal. See it achieved. Feel what it feels like. Wow, how does that feel, right? How does it feel? Okay, you'll notice that an uncomfortable space lies between step 1, the starting point, and the third step, your goal. The middle point is the unformed, creative part where the divine spirit or Holy Spirit works its wonders to help you accomplish what you cannot do yourself. So you do ask for spiritual aid and you trust that that's going to be provided. As long as you're in that higher vibration of love, you're not focusing on the past or the future. I talked about that in a video yesterday. Last night I was super excited about being so present and in a higher vibe of love. The answers flood in if you're quiet too. So that's the kind of the 3 things. All right. How do you get moving? You'll never get to this miraculous part of life until you set a goal. Then you must take the initiative and begin to move towards it. Only then will the Holy Spirit, divine spirit, help you through the large, unknown second area where you must exercise your talents to create a better life for yourself. So again, you're not just sitting back and saying, okay, divine spirit, love source, God, all that is, Mahanta, whoever you speak to, Jesus, okay, another master, right? Whoever you speak to, you're not just saying, can you just do this for me? Like, I'll just sit back and, I don't know, eat bonbons and put my feet up. No, it's not like that. You're in your high vibe, you've visualized what you want, and then you just receive the little nudges, and they can be very small at first. Like maybe you want to move. Okay. So you send 1 box to a certain location, then you send 2, then you send 10, then your whole house is empty eventually. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess I'm moving. So it's little inspired whispers that you get when you ask for that help and you get quiet and you hear it and you say high vibed, like attracts like, right? Paul Twitchell, Padar's Ask, speaks about the diamond. In the Ekvidya, the ancient science of prophecy, he says the diamond is related to the physical world and man's human experience. It represents the divine power brought to bear upon the material conditions, intuition, clairvoyance, and inspiration. Intuition, clairvoyance, and inspiration, inspired in spirit, Asian, right? Are faculties of the higher mind whereby light is reflected as from a flawless diamond. Okay, not a diamond in the rough, a flawless one. So it shines all that information and you either see it, know it, feel it, intuit it, get into inspired action with it. Do you want to be happy? Do you want to be happy? Then set out to learn about the connecting diamonds in your own life. They shimmer and glisten all around you, but always begin your search by singing Hugh or some other love song to God. It really makes all the difference. So that was Connecting Diamonds in the Spiritual Laws of Life, Harold Klemp. I hope that was helpful. And let me see if there's any. Okay, I'm still there. Yeah. Okay. All right. So if anyone has any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'm so grateful for you joining me here, learning with me. And this is, like I said, this is where it's at. This is what we want to learn. We want to learn the eternal spiritual laws of life because we will take them from incarnation to incarnation to incarnation. And our soul remembers. We remember these things. And the more you study them, the more you raise your spiritual IQ, and the more you have ease about living because you have trust and faith that everything is as it should be. And you know that when you vibe into that higher vibrational timeline, okay, because there's an infinite amount of timelines, but when you vibe into that highest vibrational timeline, that you will have a happier outcome in the material physical planes of existence. So once again, this is Hugh Loving Life. I'm Michelle. Thank you so much for being here, and check out all my playlists. There's so very many. I really have been talking a lot about the spiritual exercises or spiritual laws of life and my interpretation. That is such a useful playlist. They all are good in different ways. But I love that one. If you want to see some really quirky, fun animal videos, I have one titled Unusual Animals in Nature Videos. And basically, I capture really interesting slices of life with my two canaries, Hugh and Eck, who fly freely in my home during the day. So I'm pretty much their housekeeper. You can only imagine they love to throw dirt, and I have 50 plants, so that's fun. But they also like to go into my dioramas, which is another funny thing to see. And of course, I also have my 12 deer that feed at 5 o'clock every day. I don't know what it is, 5 or 5:01. Literally, they're here like clockwork. It's so odd, but they expect their dinner at 5 o'clock. Sometimes they're a minute late. So you can check out those videos as well. And I have a playlist where I sing. I used to live in New York City and I did musical theater. And I have now recorded a new song I wrote called You Are the Ocean. I wrote and recorded it, and it's in the playlist Songs Sung by Michelle, I believe. So there's a lot of different options. If you ever like the Choose Your Own Adventure books, I actually have a playlist because it was such a flashback fun thing for me to do that I had so much fun making the Choose Your Own Adventure books that I did that as well. So you could check that out too. And if you're just joining me, thanks. It is the end of the video, but you can rewind it and start over. We talked about connecting diamonds and yeah, all good stuff that'll help you on your journey as a temporary human being. Okay, you never know. You could also be from alien origins, especially if you're Rh negative or have odd types of blood types, but you could be an alien anyway and just living in a human body. I know that that is very true. So yeah, just be loving to yourself because this is not an easy planet to live on. It's very dense, but you're here for a reason and make the most of it. Okay, it's a short time to be here. So make the most of it and keep working on your spiritual self, which is really all we can take with us. So much love. Thanks for joining me.